Okay, so we left off yesterday doing all of our models for capturing Steam games, deals, promotions. Yeah, so that's kind of done. The models. Now, the models will probably break here and there, and we'll go back and fix them, but I think it's time to move on to the front end. And here we're going to finish work on the promotion wizard today, where we can add a new campaign that lasts a certain duration of time, where a publisher could add their Steam game and their Steam game keys for a promotion. So before I do that though, I shrunk the size of my screen so it's easier to see. Oh, interesting. This doesn't have a wheel down to decrease. Cool. Let's try this. Oh, yeah, wheel down. Yeah, okay, hold on. Just wheel up and wheel down makes no sense, because obviously that is going to be shift wheel down, maybe. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. I'll probably just adjust the font as needed. That looks pretty good on the stream, actually. So even that isn't too bad, I think, for the stream. Okay. Okay, so what have I done so far? So this morning, I've spent a few minutes before I started streaming, but I just spun up the web app locally, and I created a new campaign. So I did the first step of this promotion wizard, and we can see it here. This is our CMS that displays what's in the database in Mongo. So I actually did the first step of the wizard, and hence we have a Steam promotion entry in the database, and this is it. So we're on step 2, which makes sense because I did the first step. If I go next, this takes a bit of time. It's slow on my local. We're in draft mode. Obviously, the promotion hasn't been published. We default to the US marketplace. I still have to consider what I want to do with marketplace. Product controller. This should actually be read-only. And this is like Xbox controller stuff. So these are all of the fields we added to the Steam promotion. Oh, that font thing is only per window basis. Yeah, that's kind of stupid. Anyway, so all of these fields are part of the Steam promotion model I created yesterday. So yeah, it looks good. I'm gonna keep that thing open so I can view how my promotion is going. Great. I just borked that up. Perfect. So where do I want to start? I might start somewhere easy. which is just changing some of the verbiage on this promotion wizard. I think that may be the best approach. So that will be in here. So this is the Jade. This is basically the HTML that's being rendered right now on the right. And I'll try to get my bearings in here and see what I want to do. Create deal CSS. Here's our mini preview. We can see that here. I think we'll just call it promotion. We'll try to use the term promotion as much as possible. Help, yeah. Leave that. So this is a modal window. So I'm going to actually collapse the modals. We'll do those at the end. Some of them don't even need to stay. Okay, so now here's the stuff with the steps here. So we want to get rid of shipping because there's no shipping involved. This is how you comment in Jade or Pug, which is the templating language I use to do my HTML. So a double forward slash, just like you would comment in JavaScript or in C. If you add this hyphen after them, it means it's like a server-side comment where it won't render in the HTML as a comment. So adding this hyphen means this HTML won't even get to the client side. They can't view source and see it. So I do that normally. So I think we need to change the steps because I turfed a step and I'm using magic numbers here, which is not a good idea. I get it. And what is a magic number? Well, a magic number is when you hard code a literal number, or basically you hard code anything. You really should define it as a variable somewhere, as a constant preferably, being maybe in an enumeration or something like that. And the reason you do that is, first off, it's more readable. Like 3 means nothing. If I had it in a variable or a constant, it would be like, what step? Incentive step. I think step 3 is. But 3 means nothing. So and I'm kind of doing this blindly. It may break some stuff. It may or may not. We'll see. I'm hoping I break a few things here and there, though. Okay. So now on line 286, this section of code, we have some Jade or Pug if statements. So you can actually do conditionals within the template itself, whereas in HTML, you can't do conditionals. You could do JavaScript conditionals, but that's all client side. This is at compilation time, or this is at runtime. So, this HTML that'll get rendered out by Pug would change based on me setting a local variable called stripe total. Payment deal. Credits needed. I'm going to change deal to promotion at some point, but for now I don't want to break too much. I think yesterday we already changed the tab count here. So if tab index is equal to 0, we're on the first tab, which is campaign details. I don't want to use campaign. Create the promotion. That should render the text create promotion right up here. I shrunk down the size of my browser window because these little preview things kind of get in the way if it's full text. Add the product. So instead of add product, add Steam app. How many for how much? So we're getting rid of step 3, how it's shipped. How many for how much? Promotion. Details. Boost your promotion. And then finally, done. Okay. If I save this, which I have, I should be able to refresh this. Hopefully I didn't break too much. So that's cool. We can see we've dropped, in the previous version, we dropped step 3, which was shipping details. Now we changed it to promotion. So we basically turfed a step. Now we got to find the tab in the wizard itself and turf that. This is a bit of a single page app, by the way, this whole test promo page. As we tab through each tab and work our way through, it renders differently. So it doesn't actually take you to a new page. It just re-renders this view differently. Let's just go back to tab 1. It's called campaign. We'll call it promotion. Promotion name, starting at, ending at. And then cool. So I won't refresh, but we just changed some of the text on here. Now product tab. This here would create a div once this pug gets generated into HTML. And the div, this hash, says that the div has an ID named product-tab. So right here, this little area, the next tab in the promotion wizard is our product tab. Tab index is equal to 1, then we set it to active, otherwise we set its CSS class to nothing. This is actually kind of like server-side logic here. You see it's our ternary conditional operator to set our CSS class for this div. And it won't be product, it will be Steam app, I guess. There must be somewhere else where I change the tab name itself. This is just the div area, almost like, Bootstrap tab pane. It'll create like it'll create like its own viewable area. So Steam app, I might as well save this and refresh this page. And here we go. We can see my changes somewhat have reflected. They're starting to reflect. So what do I want to use the term marketplace? I don't know. I need to kind of jump around back to like the Steam world to get their terms that they use for things. And I'm kind of doing that on this sort of database website. Like, what do they name? For example, I think if I click on a game, what's a popular enough game? Torchlight. Highest recorded discount 80%. It's a cool little site, actually. However, it's got a .info domain. I don't know how that's working for them. Let me just move this over. Forgot to enable my chat. Okay, I thought I was clicking on this game. Let's go. Okay, so I click on the game, and here we go. So Russian currency. It goes by currency, not so much marketplace. Maybe I should go back to Steam itself. So this is the API call I did to Steam to fetch a game. So I've already tied this into our site where I call this. I just want to see how... Yeah, they do just kind of key off currency, not so much off of... Wonder what I should do here. I might just leave the term marketplace. I don't know what that's gonna do. I just need to change, though, in our code. Like currently, these are the only marketplaces we handle. Steam is probably in pretty much every country out there. These are some of the major countries where our members are from, but I mean, it excludes Russia. And it's not a slight on Russia. It's just it excludes it because we were using this for another type of deal that these were the only countries that we had the ability to create deals in. I'm just debating whether or not to even remove marketplace altogether. I think for now I'm going to remove this. Actually, I'm not going to do anything with it. That's probably the better move. Okay, so Steam app ID. Excuse me. And ID will be called product hyphen app ID. And I should... changes to J template. So I changed all right. So I'm just putting my changes just in this text file. So at least I know, because a lot of these names are either referenced in jQuery or are posted back when a form is posted, and they go back as those property names. So I need to be aware of any changes I made. Async fetch. So div class is equal to so I just rename that, creates a div, and the dot in front of this name means it'll create a div, and the dot saying the class name, like the CSS class, will be this. It's a bit like selectors in jQuery. jQuery uses the dot to represent a class, and the hash # to reference an ID. Okay, so regular price, that can probably stay. However, the promotion is product.pricing dot initial or final. I think final. I think I'll change this to product.pricing. Actually, you know what? I'll leave that. That is fine. And then finally, category. It's actually going to be app type. And we looked at those yesterday or the day before. App type is game, video, hardware, all the stuff that Steam sells. Software stuff. Software, though, they give it the name game. It's fine, I guess. So select category. I could leave the term category. That's fine for now. Deal.category. Category ID. Type.name. So what am I going to do? I'm going to move this over here. And I am going to increase the size of WebStorm, and I'm gonna go into here Incentive reviewer additional finalize. And I'm going to, this is our controller in Express.js. When a page is requested, you go to your controller first, which is server-side JavaScript code. And that's what this is. So we are deal.category. Yeah, Steam promotion category. Steam promotion category is configured by adding it into the I'll create some categories and publish them. So what were some of the categories? I jotted them down. Where did I put them? Game. Not fame, game. Where did I put those? Oh, here we go. So I define them here. These are the different type names. So I'll just copy this off of the text file. So we'll have, the first one will be game. And its type matches the type coming back from the Steam API. Steam API returns game as just lowercase game as a string. So we'll save this. Hopefully it doesn't break. We'll just publish it. So I might as well create some more. So now we've got DLC. And it comes back as DLC from Steam's API. Demo. I don't want demo, but because we're not going to allow people to promote their demos. But I'm going to put it in there and save it as draft so it doesn't show up on the production website. So video. That guy is fine. So we got episode. I actually probably should have added to the database another field for a numeric, which would be a sorting order. Because you would probably always want game to be the first option because it's going to be 90+% of the time the promotion will be like a free game, not an episode or DLC. So I should have done that. I can add that in later. So series, and then finally hardware is what we got so far. So this should cover it. So now we should have, I think there's a few more categories I was unable to dig up. Steam doesn't really give you the best documentation for the schema, the contract, the stuff that comes, but whatever. Okay, so we've got that. If I refresh the page now, we should see, or do I need to, well, we'll see. Let's refresh here. So here we go. So now in the app type dropdown, we give the game developer publisher the option of changing this. But our code changes this as well based on the API call, because we do get it. Like, it's up to the game developer to put in his, like, that's Half-Life 220. You put in your unique app ID that you're given, and you click on the magnifying glass to look it up. So I have to do the lookup shortly. I haven't tied that in yet. The price will get populated, and this dropdown will get populated based on the API call. Okay. So that's category. Now the next tab is our pricing tab. Before I move on to that though, let's look at our Ajax calls. So this is JavaScript in Jade/Pug, the template language, but this would just simply create your, your scripts. Type is equal to, JavaScript, and src is equal to the path to, well, this would actually be an empty script tag because we're not loading anything. So it would create your script tag, this right here. And then since it's all tabbed, this would be within the script tag. It would just be a jQuery call. Okay. So jQuery fetch product. Now this is deal.product.app ID. I need to change it so there's a like a pop-up GIF, like a loading GIF. Right now we don't do that when you click on the lookup, because the lookup takes a bit of time because it's got to go do an API call, and you want to obviously give to the user the concept that you're waiting for something, so don't just kill the process and close the page. Okay, so fetch product.click. It triggers the click call. Here we go. Fetch product. Clear asyn. Asyn input dot click. Pricing calc. Well, you know what? I'm gonna work from the top down. I got a lot of crazy JavaScript going on this page. A lot. Okay. Here's where our JavaScript on this page starts. If the site is live, then we tie in Google Analytics stuff. EC, I can't even remember how. I don't even use Google Analytics that much. I used to like sit and watch this all day and watch where people were coming in from and what they were doing, but at least it'll be categorized now, like Google Analytics, whenever I want to look at it. Send event promotion, creating promotion. Here's our Bootstrap wizard, form validation, Bootstrap stuff, Bootstrap. I am going to I know that's gross. I'm just going to enforce it to show review. Again here. The strict marketplace stuff I'm changing doesn't affect Steam, fortunately. Step, we get the step from the server side, so we know what step we're on. In the deal wizard, like step 0 through 6 or so. Currency symbol, we were pulling that from... It's just going to be $sign because we're just going to default to USD. Tiers can stay. Tier key. Yeah, I'll probably come back to this stuff shortly and turf it. Tier price. Credit price. Additionals, checks. A lot of this I'll prune out at some point, but if Stripe total, that means they've actually I don't know if you've ever seen, like on Humble Bundle, the Stripe checkout, that pop-up that comes up where you enter in your credit card details. We use the same thing. Merchant.update.deal. Our Windows location is actually update Steam promotion. Merchant update Steam promotion. Okay, enough of the Stripe stuff. Confirm credits. Create deal. Yeah, this is the magic for our help window. I kind of want to collapse this. Yeah, I'm going to collapse that. Loader. Oh, that's when we move tabs. Okay. Form validation. Modal. Campaign title. I'm going to leave, what did I rename? Product app ID and app ID fetch. So I got to change a little bit. So I named product.appID. So we have a regex. We only use so this is our regex from the beginning of the string to the end of the string. We just simply care about that. And we can say the length is from like 2 to is it comma? I think it is to say a range. Now, what's the largest app ID out there? Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got one that's as long as 6, but I'm going to just say 8. And here's what I do with my regex. I'm not the greatest regex guy, so I use regexer. And I just drop in my expressions and test them. So I can put in some flags like multi-line. That way it'll test everything I type in this little area. So that should highlight, because I hit 2. It should stay highlighted until I go beyond 8. Or I enter in a character. So since Steam app IDs are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So this is a good regex. It reads from the beginning of the line to the end of the line. You know, if I put something in front of it, it's going to fail. But if I take this out, it should highlight my, yeah, that's not, so for sure. The regex we got is exactly what I need. So that looks good. And it will test for a Steam app ID. Steam app ID lookup required. Category. Did I change the name of that? I'm actually going to move this to the other group. Oh, shoot. Shoot. How do I duplicate it? Open in opposite group. Okay, good. So we are... I just want to look at the HTML. We're on the Steam app tab is what we're worrying about. here's our lookup mess. I call it a mess because it's, I don't know. There's just so much HTML on this. I guess that's what you get with single page apps. Uh, I'm not like a proponent of single page apps. I've done them to some extent, but most of the projects we've ever done isn't just a big single page app mess. And I'm sure there's good patterns to do it properly, but I'm not aware of them. So when we click on app ID, when we click on fetch product, where's remove product? Remove product looks like it gets added dynamically, maybe. That's okay. Steam app category is required. Apps regular price is required. I don't have to change the regex here. This is just evaluating a hyphen. And a dot. Whatever. I'll figure that out. I think I just need 0 through 9. I really just need backslash D, lower D is all numeric values like 0 through 9. Or you could explicitly define it as a lookup group. Whatever. Regex is always a bit scary to me. I'm comfortable with it now, and I'm somewhat proficient. I'm probably proficient than most developers. But it's a beast all in its own. And it's very, very powerful. I suppose if you learn on a Linux machine from the get-go, you probably would be more in tune to regex because you do a lot of grep, a lot of searching for like files and contents of files. And you would do that, through the command prompt, the terminal, and, you would do regex expressions for your finds. Okay, so fulfillment. So the shipping stuff can just go. Screw the shipping. Sale price is not valid. We'll leave that. The sale price is always going to be free, but we'll leave this for now. Claim count. This code type will go away. Sale coupons length, that hasn't changed. Zip. I'm doing a lot of client-side validation here in jQuery. I also do the similar idea on the server side as well. Multi-use code. There is no multi-code. We got to get rid of that. Okay, submit form, validate tab. Pricing calc. I wish I could collapse. I can collapse from the script level, but I can't collapse this mess. It's pretty gross. The pricing calc will probably go away. Get market based on marketplace. See, that'll probably go away. So here's where we really need to be. So fetch product.app ID, I think I named it. This is not a valid Steam app. So I've duplicated that regex expression, which is not a good thing. But instead of fixing it, I'm going to duplicate it. Can I refactor that? Cool. Rename all occurrences, which will also rename comments and it in. Well, I just noticed it also renamed this, which is my route to my own API, but that's fine. We say the market the user chose in the app ID. That's exactly what I need to do the API fetch, the app ID fetch. Awesome. And we just handle, yeah, we're using a promise here. When the AJAX call is done, we call a method called loaded, which is down here. And loaded just has the structure of the data that came back from Steam. Otherwise, the error handles any errors that occurred in the HTTP request to that Steam service. A status code is 0. That's kind of a bad one. A 404 not found, right? 500 is a server-side error. And then also like a parse error, a timeout, or an abort, right? All of these things can occur on an AJAX call. And I do an alert. You should never have an alert on production, but I do. I don't. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you see alerts on production websites, right? I don't know if you're a JavaScript person, but those alerts are like kind of a debugging hack, just like an alert pop-up. And typically you pass in the alert text to give you like, the status of like a variable in a loop so you can debug, stuff like that. But sometimes I see alerts on production code on some pretty big sites, now and again. But you shouldn't see them all the time. Users don't see these all the time. It only occurs when a problem does pop up. So, okay, so we'll do loaded in a second, but I'm going to now jump to app ID fetch, which was called ASIN fetch earlier. So now our screen is going to get a little bit bloated here. I won't do the find. We'll go to our routes, our API, and we had an ASIN fetch, which will probably be our ASIN lookup. But first I'm going to open up our index of our routes. Oh shoot, what did I just do? I clicked OK on something. I didn't mean to. Yeah, I moved. Yeah, not good. So what I want to see is I want to see our route registrations. And specifically the API ones. This is the ASIN fetch. I created a conditional here, if Steam enabled. So for all our Steam routes, I register them in here. So we call it, we're going to call this app ID lookup, passing in app ID and market. And I'll change this in a short minute. App ID lookup. Sweet. Okay, so now I need to find asyn lookup. I need a bit of real estate here. We're going to call it app ID lookup. And I'll change this to match this new route. And the query the parameter coming across is app ID, so we'll change that. I don't know if any of you or if anybody's there has done Express.js, but if you have, then a lot of this should look very familiar. Before I jump into our API route handler, I will create a Steam lookup library class file. So I'm just recreating this path here. So Steam is the folder, and I need a JS file called lookup. Clearly, I didn't get that. Copy, paste. Okay, so here is oh, you know what? I should refactor that. Market CB, sweet. I don't need any of this mess. I do need this though. And I can actually steal that from here. I've already done a lot of this. So I can construct the, I really need to refactor a lot of this code. I've got quite a bit of reuse happening here, which is not good. Okay, so we need to build our URL for our API call to Steam to fetch our game. We pass in market. And I'm going to enforce an uppercase because I tested this earlier and Steam requires uppercase. It's case sensitive in their API call. Very strange, but it is what it is. App ID. And Steam Store product lookup. So this process.env is, it comes from an environment file, so kind of a configuration file. And there's a key called Steam Store API product lookup, which is just HTTP. It's a URL. So this would be the full URL for the API call. And then we dynamically just add in the app ID we pass. So if the user enters in, I want to promote my game Half-Life 2, the app ID is 220. This would come across as 220. And what I should do, if market and market dot length is greater than 0, then we will concatenate to this URL string. We can just use the plus equal compound operator, and what it's going to do, it'll just set URL to also include the parameter in the GET request. CC is equal to, like, market could be US, whatever country code we need. And I'm really going to have to dig into this market stuff, because we handle markets currently on our deals, but Steam may use it a bit differently, so we may have to jump in here later. We don't care about this. Is this our full switch? Yeah. We don't need that switch. We don't need the operation helper. We really just need to do a request, which is it's just an AJAX request. So I'll need to include the module that I've got pulled from NPM. And the module's called request. And yeah, request is a really popular project on GitHub for node development. It's probably got thousands of stars, I'm sure. Okay, so we can work our way through here. So we're just going to do a request. Excuse me. And we'll pass in. We can pass in the URI as an option, but we can just pass in the URL. And the options are optional, I'm sure. So function, error, response, and result. So, yeah, I really should be. I'm actually going to. We'll call this lookup. And up lib utils steam / lookup. You don't need to include the JS at the end. So steam lookup. So I am going to change our lookup here to actually just straight off call steam lookup. And we straight off export a function. So we just need to go straight away. Oh, I got a bit of a name conflict. So I might just call it lookup. Lookup requires app ID, and we fetch it from here. And we are going to pass in market as null. And our callback I'm going to assume it's going to be something like this. We'll come back there and fix it in a moment. Give us a little more real estate here. So if market is passed, then we add it. Fine. Requests. And I just need to do a lot of the same error handling I've done here. If error not result and the result isn't successful, and success comes back from, this result will be a JSON structure which looks just like this. So I'm testing for success is true or false. I need to actually window into this call though with the app ID. Dude, this did not work. It would have if I moved that up. I actually am going to do this. Okay. This is going to get deleted out of here once I get it done here. So result actually isn't success, but what we're going to do is result will be equal to results or empty. And we'll wrap that in parentheses so we know that that's going to happen first. All that's saying is if a result is null, set it to an empty object. And we're going to window in using the app ID. This is just playing nice with how Steam returns the results to us. If not results or not result success, then we definitely had an error. We can't request.flash here though. We need to return an error. Cool. CB. Do we have utils? Yep. Okay, so Steam lookup, app ID. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it does show. That's fine. Okay. Okay, so our logic looks good. Unfortunately, this app ID is invalid. We could potentially get an error if the API call was down. I might just delete this old code. So result won't go back. We'll just call it app. and we'll start as an empty object and start building it up based on the result that came back. So I've got a bit of a structure for the result, so we can say price overview. I actually want to return back literally the structure they gave us. So I probably should just return back results. That way, this logic does not need to change. So from here, cool. I need to handle the error though. Hold on. Okay, so if error or not result, we flash an error message to the web page. Okay. And we don't care about result. We know result is gonna, well, I'll leave that in there. That's fine. So that was pretty simple. This does everything I think we need to do. I can drop a breakpoint in here to make sure we call that properly. Okay. What the hell's app ID lookup? Yeah, that's what. Okay, so app ID lookup, we get across, we get app ID. I should probably refactor this so it renames everything. I need to quickly look at, yeah, we named it with lowercase, so that's fine. App ID and market comes across. Return. We were handling some stuff. We'll leave that. Unable to delete a deal you didn't create. I don't like the name of that. So I'm just going to scrub. If they pass market across, I'm just going to delete that. So by setting market to null means the app will be looked up for the default marketplace, which I believe is just the US. I actually probably should just hard code it. And that way we always get USD. Error and result. So if error, we return error. Otherwise, we don't need everything to come back. So we'll go app ID is equal to result. I can actually I think I can actually full screen this. It doesn't matter. Okay, so app ID data. Ooh. I actually need to do this. If not success, return result dot data. That's what I want. Okay, so result comes back, and from here I get Steam app ID. The image is just header image. Text placeholder here. Or placeholder. If we don't have a header image, we default it to like an empty product. Yeah. And what else do we need? Title. Result dot name is our title. So category is actually type. So result dot type will come back as our category. And I don't care about brand. What do I care about? I can actually set brand as something. You know what? I don't give a I don't care. I don't care. I definitely need currency code. Object.keys. Geez, it returns everything. I almost should. If it's an array, flatten it. So I'm looping through all of this mess, and if it happens to be an array, I flatten it. I don't think I need that. But I do need price currency, so I'll do that. Price is equal to result dot pricing, if I recall. How does this have no pricing? Wow. Is free is false, then where the heck is the pricing? Wonder if it's because I didn't pass in CC. It's possible. Yeah, clearly I do have to enforce passing CC. Great. So price is equal to empty object. There's a bit of grossness there to guard if price overview comes across as null. I think I'm going to use final as my pricing. I think that's after discounts. Currency. And currency. Fortunately, they do use the same currency code structure I use on the site. USD, so that's good. Okay, so we handle currency, price. Product description. So we want the description. So here what we can do is we could do result dot, we probably want the detailed description first. If that doesn't come across, we'll get result dot short description. If that doesn't come across, we'll get result dot about the game. So we've got that. Sales rank, we do not care. Meta details. What kind of meta details do they need? All I'm doing here is recreating the JSON being returned to use kind of the similar format we use for our other deal types. So meta product description. Meta product dot URL. So we actually have a plain old URL. which is the URL to the product, to the game. And where the heck did I do that? I need to do this. I need to do this over here. See, I'm going to pause the stream for a moment. I'll be back, and you know what? I'm going to make a coffee. I'm going to pause the stream. I got to look at something confidential, like my configuration file, which has my credentials. So I want to do that when the video isn't projecting my monitor. Nothing to really hide. It's just, well, yeah, I mean, I don't want you guys getting my credentials to databases and stuff. So I'll do that and make my coffee. So I'll be back in under 10 minutes. Okay, I am back. I'm just going to keep the screen off for a minute while I pull up. Okay. All this is I'm just constructing the URL. I'm constructing the URL to the Steam product page. So just the friendly URL to get people there. I could probably shorten it. See how many people clicked through on our promotion listing to that game. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about. I'm not a big fan. Well, I should be a fan, but collecting metrics like how how Facebook's in all this trouble because they know so much about you. I could do a small portion of that sort of concept where I don't know a lot about you, but I know like I can track. I can like shorten the URL so I know the count of how many people went to that link and where they're located, what browser they used, what time of day they did it. But I don't know. I don't really care about collecting too much. It's funny though, Silicon Valley, it's like, all of these companies are valued at billions of dollars, yet they collect no real revenue. I mean, Google does with their advertising revenue. Facebook certainly does with their advertising revenue, but I think like things like Snapchat, it's not really monetized, but they're valued at billions of dollars. And the whole idea is it's valued at that because of getting a user base, but B, they're building a profile about you that can be sold to advertisers. So, that's why Facebook is in such hot water. I think, right? It's just collecting all that information to monetize. So who's really to blame? I mean, Facebook, yeah, Zuckerberg's just a kid. He's a punk, in my opinion. I shouldn't say that. I mean, you know, is he a CEO? Probably not. But who's really to blame for this privacy thing? I mean, these advertisers who jump ship on Facebook, I think it's a bit hypocritical, right? They were able to target ads at you. Like I've done Facebook, I know exactly how all this crap works. And these big advertisers who are playing holier than now, um, are just doing it for public opinion. They totally were leveraging all of that information they know about people and using it to target ads at people. I don't know. I stay off Facebook. I got a crappy Facebook account. I think I've maybe done one post in my life. I've yeah. And I only have it there because I need to sign up for Facebook dev stuff to do like Facebook sign on stuff and API stuff. Okay, anyway, enough of this. I need to. Oh, this is my profanity lookup. Sorry. Okay, I need utils, and I'm just going to create a utility. Um, So this is just a simple module that I've created in JavaScript that just exports a bunch of functions with these alias names like get, generate Steam, store URL. We'll pass in the app ID, and based on that app ID, I can create the friendly URL to get to that Steam page. This just goes in our configuration file. It pulls a URL. In that URL, we simply concatenate the app ID. I might as well guard to make sure the system passes in an app ID. So if there's no app ID or the app ID's length, which is the string length, right? That'll count how many characters in the string. I can just say less than 1. I mean, I'll just go 0. We'll return null. That way we pass back a null object to the caller. Hopefully they'll check to see, oh, I hope that URL has some length to it. If not, then we got a problem. Otherwise, we return back. There. Pretty simple. Now, I can call that. Generate Steam Store URL, passing in an app ID. And no longer do I need to do this. I'll keep the guarding though. But the reason why I did that is now anytime I need to generate a friendly Steam Store URL, I've got this utility module, which is just a bunch of functions aliased that I can call. That way I'm not, like, I'm duplicating code in a lot of places. I've been noticing that. It's just because, yeah, it's a bad habit. It's not a habit. It's just we had a lot of churn in the app, and we had to come in and make a lot of changes really quickly because just some sort of legal issues that we bumped into. Not that we did anything illegal, just to abide by some rulings that came down at a high level for how deal sites work. And yeah, because of that, I think it was more like a all-night coding craze. And, you know, proper code etiquette kind of went out the window when it came to speed of getting things done. Okay, doesn't matter. So we need to generate. So cool. So now I just have to make sure our utils module is here. Lib, and where the heck is it? Lib utils. Perfect. So now I can just magically call utils dot generate Steam Store URL and pass in our app ID. Cool. So we've got our app ID. So the description here is clearly short. Because we have a meta, I can just tell. My holding down my mouse wheel doesn't let me side shuffle over. Could probably turf that. Okay, sorry. So meta product description extended can be equal to result.detail. If detailed description isn't set by the publisher, though, we can, I guess, use short and about. So it's kind of like the same as what I've done on the generic description, but I've just inverted the order. So this will hopefully be a detailed description. And I guess I get to do, if not brief, extended. I've already set extended. I'm going to turf that. If the extended description is greater than 200 characters, yeah, I can do that. And I can actually leave it in the format it's in. Return meta product description extended. If that text is greater than 200, we substring it down and add the ellipsis. Otherwise, the full text goes because it's under 200. Cool. So we smarten that up. We don't use brand or features. Title. I already set the title. I don't care about that. Images.large. What I could do here is we do get screenshots that come back, and I could iterate. Let's just look here. So screenshots is an array of objects. I suppose I could do, we could just do this. We get back result. Let me just verify I got that right. Screenshots, an array, and path thumbnail. The thumbnail is actually quite a big image, so it's big enough for me. I don't need the full size. Okay. Let's do a little bit of ES6 stuff so we can do just map. We can just do a lambda, so we can just say S for screenshot. And so each screenshot will just return back s.thumbnail, it was called, or something. Path thumbnail. Assuming screenshots exists. If it doesn't, I will create an empty object that we'll iterate through, but there's nothing to iterate, so it should hopefully be... I'm not sure what map does if it's an empty object. MDN has changed their structure. This is Mozilla Developer Network. They got probably the best docs for JavaScript. I noticed they changed their layout of the website. I'm not sure yet, but I don't think I like it. Mm. I'm iterating over an array. I think I'm okay. It's got to handle an empty array. Okay. Okay, so images, screenshots. I can do all of this in line with the creation of our object. So I can just move this code. This one's a little bit messy, so we'll leave that outside the creation of the object. And I think that's it. I think that is it. So that creates our return structure. We've got another. Do I want to push the image to Cloudinary? I don't. I can remove that function. I don't need that. Actually, holy bloody hell. I've got quite a bit going on. I don't care about that. I almost should return the whole structure. I actually am. Here's what I'm going to do. Meta. Let's call it raw. I might actually put it right in the root of our object. Kind of defeats the purpose, like I'm passing the whole raw where I was scrubbing it up here, but I think I'll just pass the whole result returned. As raw. That way, if we want to see the raw result, we can have it. That makes sense. If error, we put error on the return JSON to the caller, and then we return the JSON. So this is cool. This is our app lookup. Now let's go back to our shared tab. App lookup, pass null, error. Otherwise we get our result back. Our result that comes back from lookup. Is it app ID lookup? Steam lookup. I think that's good. Okay, good. Okay, good. So app ID lookup. Let's go back to where I was registering the routes. Index.js in routes. App ID lookup. Perfect. So let's go back to our Jade. App ID lookup passes app ID and market. Awesome. We get back our return. Awesome. And if the return is golden, there's no error, we go into loaded. So now we need to look at this function in our jQuery code. So we no longer call it product.asyn, but product.appid. Where's my little text file? Product.appid. Yep. It's product.appid. Shift F6. We can just call it appid input. Clearly it didn't refactor. Property read only true. So as soon as we fetch the app ID on the website. Oh, did I? I'm closing these. Okay, so as soon as we click on the little magnifying glass, it'll go into that app ID lookup service call. Comes back with the JSON. That JSON, if everything's good, we go into loaded. And we start manipulating the input fields. So here we're going to make this read only, which is good. We disable. That's fine. Fetch product, remove class. We add remove. Perfect. btn product, remove class disabled. Then we've got a function that we may or may not call. When remove product is called, we do call it. Asyn fetch. Let us jump up to our Jade. Asyn fetch got renamed to app ID fetch, so it's no longer asyn fetch. This is just an empty div, by the way, that will get populated with the image and stuff of the game that comes back. You'll see that in a moment. Create deal, I think we leave that product.appid. Clear asyn. We're going to rename this to clear app ID. My typing is too fast for this thing. Okay, good. App ID clear. Product comes back. I guess so. There'll probably be a few bugs here. I mean, I tend to change a lot of code at once without testing. You know, sometimes you just get the flow in your mind and you're golden, right? Like you're just kicking it. You're just killing it. And that's typically how I get. Probably 8 out of 10 times, though, there's clearly a small issue that I overlooked. Maybe once out of 10 times I do it right from the get-go. And we call it app ID, I think. App ID. I'm assuming P is our structure coming back. The product, interesting. Yeah, product. Okay. Asyn, it's app ID fetch. This is inline HTML that it's pretty gross. Brand doesn't exist, so that'll be null. Title does exist. What can we store in brand? I'll have to look at this. I know this is going to be null here, so it's not going to show anything. I suppose I could actually, brand can become Publisher. And publisher will be result dot, let's just have a peek here. I keep closing it. Oh, you son of a bitch. API. Steam. Store. Isn't it store? Dot. Here we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to have publisher show up in that brand location. That looks gross, but I think it'll work. It's just saying publisher comes back as an array. Developers comes back as an array. If the publisher's array is null or undefined, we create a new array that gets the developer's array's first element, or if that is null, it will default to unknown. And then we get the first element of that group. It's crazy, but I don't know. I guess when you code long enough, you think a bit crazy. It's not very readable though, but I'm good with it. And it's no longer called brand. What did I name it? Publisher? Yeah. That's cool. Now it'll populate with publisher. Yeah, life is good. Description got turfed. Fair enough. Anywhere we see ASIN, it becomes app ID. Fetch product. On click, we call fetch. Now this on change garbage. Shipping can go away. Shipping can go away. I'm going to actually comment all of this, but I'll leave the function there. I guess my multi-line comment doesn't work. FBA, that can be commented out. On change gets called, does nothing. I'm leaving in some bad code that needs to clearly go, but before I break too much and just start yanking things, I'll just kind of prune out the logic out of it, and then I'll delete the contract of it, let's say. Not too sure the logic in that, but I'm going to simply do 1. Not. I don't even know what I was doing in that. Okay. Oh, yeah, I do know. Let me just look. Maybe I want that to be 2. That's just our tier level of our pricing plan. Tier message. Deal step is great. I think I came in here and changed these yesterday. Damn, I wish I remembered what I did. Yeah, there's some messy, crazy logic going on in that. We'll leave it for now. Sale price on input, property change, or a paste. We call price change. Because we're going to force the... they have to give it away for free. Simple as that. Any Steam game that we have for that we list as a promotion will have to be given to our members for free. This pricing calc thing needs to go. Deal roll up. Oh yeah, that's that modal to see their pricing. Adjust tiers. I'll definitely be coming back in here again. The date picker stuff is golden. Definitely I need to come in here once we get to another step. We do a little bit of D3 stuff, which is like a statistical graph rendering. Okay, I think we're good-ish. Let's go ahead and kick this guy off. Restart the process. We'll see how it's looking. Okay. It's actually running some background processes. Oh, I keep closing the frickin' windows. Really? Okay, so let's refresh this. Dot steam promotion test promotion. That's our database entry. It's kicking me to the dashboard. That's great. Oh, you son of a boo. Sometimes it does this. It like holds like something weird going on and it redirects. I'll try it incognito. Hurry up. You suck. It's kicking me out again. I might restart. I don't know if that will help. I can't remember. What stupid browsers are on here? Go away. I hate Internet Explorer. I don't know what Edge is. I've used Edge once maybe. Why do I have a smiley face? Let us know what you think. Go away. Just go away. Yeah, store it. I've never actually tested our site in Internet Explorer. There's a bit of a weirdness going on up here. There may be an error in Jade in my template language. That's kicking me out. What would that error be? Like it straight off takes me to sign in. Like it's redirecting. There's something hokey. I'm not happy about this. These are those insidious errors. It just really pisses me off. I don't know if it's Jade. I've encountered this before and it just frustrates the heck out of me. It's like a really low level error, I think, that occurs. What the heck should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Like, I don't even go to, yeah, actually, let me do this. Like, we don't even render the view. Yeah, we don't even render the view. What the hell then? Let's look at our routes. Let's kill this route. If not, I'll create a new promotion. At least I'll go through a different route to get there. To the same location. Okay, we're good. I think it's running. Yeah, it looked like it redirected us to sign in, which just forces us to merchant. Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Create a new one. Let's just create a new one. I need to actually have this route open because we need to test that service we just created. I think we are running. Good. Just refresh this, make sure we don't get kicked out. So far, so good. So we'll create a second one. We'll go next. So I can pull up yeah, we can see our regex is working. Steam app ID is required. It does a regex check. That's not valid because we said it has to be numeric from 2 to 8 numerals. So that would actually be valid. It's just saying click on the magnifying glass to pull it up. If I put in a character, the regex fails. So regex is working. So 220 is Half-Life 2. If we click on this, I might, let's view our network chattiness. And I don't know if I need to reload right now. So here we go. So we did call into our lookup. Our lookup got called. Our Steam powered. Here's our API request to get the Half-Life details from Steam. Let's just drop a breakpoint in here and see the results. The results are coming back. I can see them down here. We will window into it. And results should be, oh. Well, I messed that up. So we go into our fail. An email is going to get sent to our administrators of the site, telling them there's a problem with the Steam lookup. What did I do? What is this? Unreal. Okay. What did I do wrong? Result or empty? Result isn't null, and we pass in app ID to window in. I should have looked a little closer. And of course I didn't. Okay. So we get back an empty. Let's just look here. So are we even in CB? CB will return back this. Okay, let's run it again. Didn't work the way I wanted it to. You're right, it isn't. 220. Are we not debugging anymore? What's going on here, guys? I think I kind of did some weird stuff. I'm just going to restart this and try it again. I did some crazy stuff. I just want to do something here. I use a utility called Synergy to share my mouse between my computers. And it sucks. It gets lost and confused. I didn't get that error, did I? Notify admins. I should have. Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, so what's going on? So let's try this lookup again. Okay, so now why is my logic all monkeyed up? Let's evaluate this. Why is that screwed? So let's dump that. It's coming back as a string, so I need to parse it as JSON. That's really my issue. This is what I needed to do. And there. So now I get back my object. So if I can simply add JSON.parse, and let's save this page, and I'll click the reload button in WebStorm, and normally it does an okay job at trying to reload this. So the reload occurred, I think. There's a little pop-up that should say it was reloaded moments ago. Okay. So results is our object. So our object has data and success. Perfect. Who's calling this code? We're calling this from here. So we should jump into here now. Our error is null. That's golden. And our result is our object. Cool. So now if I hover over these, let's hope, okay, app ID is 220. Our header image is good. Our name is good. Just kind of want to evaluate some of this stuff before I step through it. My crazy mess to get the publisher worked fine. My type should return back game. Lovely. Overview. Final. $9.99. Perfect. Currency. Perfect. Short description is empty. Then we'll get, ooh. How will that evaluate? Good. So empty string will do our logical operation to the right, which I'm happy. So we eventually get a description. Cool. Generate Steam store URL. I think that might work. Can I run map through the expression? I think so. Cool. And we get an array of 9 screenshots using my ES6 map. And we put into raw just everything, just in case somebody needs it. And then we, yeah, I think we're good. I'm going to drop a breakpoint here. Frames, okay, so there's clearly an issue somewhere. What was the issue? Generate Steam store URL app ID is not defined. If not app ID or app ID.length. It comes in as a numeric, and I want to, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shove it into a string, and I think that will fix my issue. Okay, so let's try this again. I've been pushed out of there again. Damn it. Oh, man. Just need to send a couple of quick texts. So we'll give this guy a name. Oh, I guess I could do it here. Oh, wait a minute. We had a crash. Thought I restarted. Seems like I didn't restart. I'm just going to pause for a second. I just got to run to the washroom. I'll be like just a minute. I'm going to take the screen off though. Okay. So let's give this a shot again. We'll do our lookup. My concern is this. This is what kept failing. We'll just evaluate it first. App ID is not defined. Well, as a matter of fact, it is. So we'll just drop a breakpoint in here and just see what's happening. I thought I fixed this though. This should fix it because it comes in as a numeric, but we're just forcing it to become a string. Then I can test the length of it, right? F8. So now this should evaluate. Yeah, this looks good. And we should just concatenate this to, yeah. So I think we're fixed now. So we crash, but it's a different error. No, it's not. What the heck? App ID is not defined. Where do I use this? Oh, okay. I see. That was my issue. That was my issue. My mom's making me a lasagna. I better say thanks. I don't have any good parts. Okay. All right. So, okay, we're good to go again. So now our lookup should get a little further. Not that it's going to be completely successful. We'll drop the breakpoint down there. Weird. We are crashing still. Product is not defined. Return dot product dot meta dot description dot extended. Let's turf that. Oh, wait a minute. Return dot product dot meta dot product. Yeah. Yeah, the structure of this JSON object is pretty darn gross. It's a nested mess, but I'm gonna leave it for now. I just need to get things working, then I can come back in and have a look at what I did. Okay, so we're running. We're looking up. This time our return looks okay. And let's just find our raw. So our raw contains everything that came from Steam. So so that's good. It's a bit of a bloated JSON result getting sent across the wire, but actually it's not bad. What am I saying? So return CB error, return, life is good. So we had a crash. Shoot. Oh, frames are not available. No, it's still running. Okay, let's go. We're getting close. So, what? Hold on a sec here. It is what? Trying to sell some stuff on Kijiji. Oh man, just dealing with people, crazy. Okay, this is so far it's not too bad. So we got the publisher back, and we're displaying the publisher. We got the game title back. We got the game's main image back. This is all we need because this is just the product details to tell the game publisher that we fetched their game okay. So if they see the game name, the publisher name, and the splash image, they're happy. The currency code is getting accepted, so we're storing USD. The price is coming across okay. It's just I'm not formatting it correctly, but that's fine. And the app type is coming back, but we're not automatically selecting the correct drop down. So let's look at that. Let's go ahead. I'll keep... I will keep the browser open. I'm going to close Internet Explorer because I don't like it. I just don't even want it on my machine. Okay. So we're getting the stuff back. App ID lookup I'm fine with, and I'm sick of dealing with it, so I'm going to close it. Our routes I'll close. Our utilities I'll close. So we need to worry about our Jade file. And I want to get that, where's that function call? What the hell did I call it? Additionals, collapse. Help, we don't need. Loader, we don't need. Create deal. We can collapse this. We're getting there. There's so much jQuery. Here we go. Okay, so we just, that's what this did. As soon as we did our lookup, we jump into fetch. So we just did that. Our AJAX call to our service was successful, and we called loaded, passing in our JSON. So we come in here, and app ID is getting dealt with okay, I can tell. We're showing the right icons. That's fine. The clear seems to work fine. Like if I go clear, it's emptying the price. Let's just do a lookup again. That looks good. If price, we set the product price with the price that comes across. Okay, so the price that comes across isn't formatted though. I should format it. I guess I shouldn't have been so crazy there. Let's go to that lookup. And let's just change the price to be formatted. So we need to go to utils. And I've got a helper function to format the price. I think get price should do the trick. No symbol we can set to true. So utils.get price. So we have to pass in the currency code. I probably should Probably should do this grossness outside of here. So get price takes currency code, takes the price, and it takes a Boolean which will pass in false. So the price will all be formatted now, and our currency is defined as a variable. We are getting a bit of issue. That is good. So let's restart the debugger and we'll try this again. That should fix our regular price to display as a price. Da, 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 da. Currency is getting set. I'm happy. App ID is getting set. I'm happy. Our app ID fetch is looking great. The only thing is our app type is the problem. App type is the issue. We name that field category. So we need to do something with category. I'm not the greatest at jQuery. What the hell? For name, isn't it like name? Ba 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 ba. Yeah, I was close. I just had my square brackets wrong. Name equal to element da 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 da. Okay, so we need to change a select. And what do we get back? What do we get back? P is our product. P, and we name app ID. No, sorry. Category. So this little line of code should do the trick. This should set our drop down to the correct app ID. So if I save this, let's turf all of this, make sure everything is empty here, and we'll put in half-life and look it up. It didn't change our app ID. Oh, I didn't refresh the page. I changed the jQuery, but of course I need to refresh the HTML page. There was an error creating a promotion. Invalid configuration. Very strange. Saving Steam promotion. This is actually a Mongoose error that I just got. Why is it giving me a Mongoose error? I know why, but I'm not impressed. Valid path. Campaign title, campaign start, campaign end, meta, hide to the world, product app ID, category, and product price. So I can actually look at this inside of here. I just wanted to drop a breakpoint when we save our should have find the right code here. Is data valid? Could have been coming from here. It definitely could be coming up here. There was an error creating a promotion. This is exactly where the error is coming from. I might drop a breakpoint here. So if I do back and then I go next, let's just watch what happens. So we have no errors validating the data. So this is cool. But the updater is not love and life. Let's look at the request body. Right here. So what's happening here is that's doing a post back to the server. And our request.body will contain the values inside of the field elements when we posted the form back. So create deal, locals.deal.get update handler. So these properties have to match verbatim to our Steam promotion model. Let's just split this vertically. So let's see, we're updating campaign dot end date start date. I thought I munged that. I did munge that. That's fine. I don't think the error's coming from there. Campaign.title. That seems okay. Category, however, is coming back across empty. But that should be okay because the error has to do with hide meta. Meta. Things are not coming across as expected. This is weird because this error didn't exist before. So intro, create deal, step, whatever. Okay, so this is where we're at. Promotion name goes back as campaign title, and that's fine. Test promotion 2. Campaign start date, campaign time. Meta hide to the world should be coming back, and it isn't. Why isn't that in the body? Did I might have screwed up my tabbing in Jade. I don't think, no, it looks good. That should be coming back, and it isn't. Yeah, it is a throwback before then. It's I'm not using, I do use some React, but I'm not overly comfortable with React like I am with more like hardcore, you know, like you said, creating the HTML and posting. It's just my comfort level. I just don't have time to learn these new frameworks, and I should, but I don't. But I've done some React, and I spent probably a couple weeks using Vue.js as well. But then I stopped using it, and I was building a new project in Vue.js from the ground up. And then I stopped using it. We stopped the project, and since then it's leaked out of my brain. What the hell? Why isn't that coming across? I'm really kind of confused here. Meta hide to the world. I'm going to actually view the source because this is... Forget this breakpoint. Updater is defined here. Actually, local deal get update handler. Updater, here's where the errors are getting handled. So actually, let's look at this. It's expecting campaign.title, campaign.start, campaign.end. Category product.app-id. Let's open up that request again. Category. Product price. I shouldn't even be prompting for... I think I know what the issue is, actually. It's because we're already on step 2, but I went back to step 1. That's never been a problem before, but that was on our initial... The deals that our system has been creating for years. Now that I'm obviously mucking around with deals, things are different. But meta is lost in translation. Meta.hide to world is not there. Okay, so what do we do? What are we going to do about that? Well, the error really sucks, actually. But anyway, let it fail. Hurry up. I'll leave that breakpoint anyway. Hurry up. Okay, so yeah, that's a horrible error message I give to users too. Okay, so let's go back. I just want to inspect. Let's make this big so I can see everything. I mean, there's no reason that shouldn't get posted back. It's within the form. That's crazy. I can't even click it. I got to increase the... so let's post this. And now let's view. It's still borked. It is coming across. I must have set the value to on. Doesn't matter though. What the hell? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? End date, end time gets munged into this date time object, and that's always worked. You know what I'm gonna do? I get that there's an issue. I accept and acknowledge that, but I'm not gonna let it slow me down. And what I think I can do is hurry up. I'll create a new promotion. And then hopefully my steps aren't out of sequence. So it seems to be an issue there. Okay, so we'll just create a new promo. I don't even know what promo number we're on. I'll just throw something out there. I gotta reduce the size of this. It's just too small. A little bit bizarre. It didn't show the side windows either. I'm really having a bad day now. Things were going great. Now, like, I'm getting weird stuff. Okay. Yeah, I don't have those side windows. What the heck? Maybe it's because it's too small. It is. I've got Bootstrap set to like extra small XS size, like media query size, the really small one. I think I just hide them, which I'm cool with because I don't want to see them. Okay, so let's look this up. It is not setting my app ID category. I'm close, but it's still not setting it. So I've got value. Oh, I'm storing for the value. I don't want to store the key. Fudgety. Fudgety. Well, maybe I don't mind. Maybe I do not mind. Maybe I look up And this way, you know what? I don't mind that. And here's what I think I'll do. I think I'm going to do this. So let's look up. Where's our category? Result type. I should and I'll cache this, but for now this will work. I don't know why it didn't tab in for me. To do cache these in Redis. So we use Redis for our key store lookup for our caching. But for now, I'm just going to pull all of the categories out of Mongo. Steam, what the heck did I name it? Promotion category. Modal. And we'll just pull out the published ones. So where state, I think I called it state, published. Let's just maybe pull up the structure of that model. State, published, name, type. Okay. So yeah, cool. So we're going to pull up all of the published. And we'll just store that globally. I'm clearly more of a back-end programmer. I'm full stack. Like I can do, clearly you can see I can do the front end. I built smartphone apps in JavaScript and definitely back end. So I'm certainly full stack, but I definitely lead more towards the back end. Like I could code back end node.js services using Redis or Mongo or any database, calling other services till the cows come home. I would prefer somebody else do the front end. It's not a front end guy. I am, but I'm not. I just don't have the flair for it. I don't find it as exciting. Like, you know how you get excited when you do stuff? When something's really exciting and you get into it and you could work on it all night long. I get that way with like back end stuff. Front end stuff, it's kind of like I just want it to be done. I don't know. Okay, so if not results, then we'll just throw an error so we break out of here. Otherwise, categories is equal to our results collection of documents that came back from Mongo. Okay, so look up categories. So here we go. So now that we have our categories, we can just do what is the best way of doing this? I don't know if I can do this in ES6. I need to cheat here. Or do I have to use underscore? Well, I guess I could do this. Var category is equal to nothing. And then what we could do is our categories collection. And we could just for each through each category. And c dot type is equal to result dot type. We can set our category to be equal to that C. Sure. What do I do? A for each in ES6. Do I just use a break statement? Return. You can't break from a for each. I can think of 3 ways to fake it. The ugly. Pass a second argument. Yeah. Controversial. Surround the whole thing by a try, catch, and throw an exception. No. The fun way. Use every. Okay. Some or every. Yeah, it seems like an abuse of every. I prefer some. Yeah, I would use some and return true. Okay, good job though. I appreciate that. That's good. So let's do some. I haven't used ES6 as much as I should. I just kind of started forcing myself into ES6. I'm going to try, let's try the arrow function. I don't know if that's going to work. Let's just see what that does. Returns true. That should return false. Let's say if C is equal to 1, we'll return C. True. Just want to play around with this. How did he recommend it here? Let's try this. So if C and C dot type is equal to this, and return true. It's gross though. Like I actually almost want my for each, and I can just iterate till the cows come home. Because there's only going to be 10 categories to loop through. And there might be a cleaner way to do it, but even his solution is a bit hacky. So it might save me some iterations if I understand it right. Anyway, so category. I can even say if category. I could delete some of the stuff out of here. Well, let's see. Let's look at what the object looks like. Let's restart this sucker. And I might even do some gross alert calls here. Where's my loaded? Var loaded. Awesome. So loaded is our return. I can just do an alert on return. I'll do an alert on p.category. Just so I can see the structure of the object. I'll refresh this again. Hopefully now I might still have those bizarre update issues though. Oh, really? Weird. Yeah, this wizard's a bit of a nightmare for me though. It's there's a lot to it, and it's easy to introduce bugs, which is not good. I don't care if I pollute the database with a bunch of test promotions. I'll just purge them before we deploy. I can actually drop a break up here as well. Say promo 05. We'll just go with the defaults, and we'll look up half-life again. I don't know why this is so slow. Running locally, things are pretty bad. Okay, so half-life. We should be going into here shortly. I think. Did I not click on that? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't do my return call, so way to go. Okay. We were stuck in this function. And actually, Steam promotion category. I should have a scrub of that. Do I not scrub it? I guess not. I could create a virtual to scrub it. And I use the scrub to put into, all a scrub is just an adapter pattern or a proxy, not proxy, adapter pattern where I should have a scrub in here I can just lift. Oh. I'm not a big fan of I'm getting some weird Windows issues. I shouldn't say Windows. It's obviously my issue, but I don't know. I just I have less weird mousy issues when I'm on my Mac than I do on this Windows machine. So what do we want to return back? All we care about is name, type, and state. Name this.name. Type. And should I pass ID? This dot, is it underscore ID or ID? I think it's underscore ID is the clean one. Okay, so now we're here. For each, our category type is game. We'll have a game for sure. So we should, like a lot of this stuff I don't want to obviously push across. Functions will get purged out when I return the JSON. I believe. The doc stuff though will get pushed. ID unfortunately returns a bison, like a MongoDB ID. I probably should have just went pure old. Let's. Thanks. ID.ID I think does it for me. I guess. No. There we go. ID to string should do it. ID straight away is good. Okay. So let's go back to our scrub and just straight up ID. And then when I do the app lookup, we can I probably should map, and we'll just go c.scrub. Scrubbed. And it'll return back a JSON, a JavaScript object, name, type, state, and ID. Okay, good. So I'm going to restart this. Now we know the structure of category. I don't think I need to alert that out. The value is p.category.id. Should set the drop down for us properly. Okay, we're running. Let's look up. We do have the alert. The alert returns an object. Awesome. So if I refresh now, I think our changes should show. We're probably going to get that update error again. Yeah, thanks. Well, it did change game ID. I need to trigger on change on it, I think. I set the value. Let's see if that fixes it. Now that error goes away. Bizarre. So it did sort of work. Where the heck's my console? val.onChange is not a function. So I guess I should look up jQuery. Maybe I need to do trigger change. Trigger change, exactly. I knew it. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. You can manually call on change. Well, that's what I just did. Using change. Okay. In standard JS, it's on change. Okay. Sure. If you say so. Good. So our change worked. Everything is good. We got a bit of an issue, though, with our dollar conversion. No problem. No symbol. Maybe that is the issue. How do I collapse? probably should just let's just search for get price. Get price, marketplace, shipping price, divided by, so I guess I just did simply divide by 1,000. Or 100, sorry, to give us a sense. Okay, I guess that's how I did it in the past. If I did it before, I'll do it again. Where's my price? I might do this. I'm a little concerned that price is not coming across. In some situations. So I will create a JSON object that kind of defaults to what I want. I think that should fix the price. Well, I know it will fix the price. Good. So then we've got, I think step 2 is pretty much done. I'll just look up where product details is defined. And we'll change it to Steam app details. Everything's running, so I'll refresh this. I should probably call it promotion details. Shipping details can go. I guess I forgot to do that. Incentive details would be step 2. And greater than 2 goes to improve deal. Okay, I'm gonna actually refresh this. See if everything kind of took effect. Shipping should be gone. No shipping. Promotion details, lovely. Steam app details looks good. Incentive details and improve deal. I'll change that to improve promotion. As expected, the goofy error. Good, so price is formatted properly, currency code, and it sets the Steam app type properly. So that is good. Now, if we move on to incentive details, there's a bit that goes on this next step, though. Yeah, in this updater, it's going to get a little bit crazy, I think. Let's drop a breakpoint there, see what happens. So our update fields on this step will be campaign title, campaign start, and meta, product app ID, category, product price. Get the feeling this is going to die. And my feeling was right. Now, it could be that weird error again because I'm starting partway through on a partially completed deal. We'll see. Okay, so what did I name this thing? I think I called it... let's look at some of these Steam promotions I've created. Which one are we on? That's what I want to know. Promo 5. Promo 5. So let's see what got pushed to it. So the campaign start and end date seems to be working fine. Nothing else has been pushed. Maybe I don't trigger that on this step. Okay, so this is going to default. The sale price is always free. How many do you want to give away? We'll say 1. And this code file shouldn't even exist. Upload a text file with our keys. So I will create okay, so it's Steam key is 5-5-5. I'll just create a handful. That'll do. I'll just have to make sure I don't offer more giveaways than the keys I've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sounds good. Upload, and let's go to our work directory, keys. So let's give it a shot. There's clearly some stuff that is not persisting though. Yeah, this is gross. Nothing's persisting with this guy, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and create one from scratch and see how far we get. I'm going to end the stream. Wasting my time.